Hey, what's up guys, it's Kazooie here, and welcome to a bit of a different video because today I'm going to be talking about the Futties, which is something new EA are going to add in Ultimate Team. As you know, FIFA 15 has been kind of dying off lately, simply because FIFA 16 news has been released, and we are pretty much also at the stage where FIFA 15 has been kind of boring. So EA decided to add something new. Hopefully it will work out well. Hopefully it will make the game a little bit more alive, at least for the few months that we still have until FIFA 16 is going to be released. But yeah, what it essentially is, it is pretty much a team this season voted by the community, although it is not entirely voted by the community because EA gave us a selection of certain players we can choose from, and those certain players are able to get a special card, which is going to be a pink card, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we have 10 different categories. The first one is in for the safe hand, which is the goalkeepers. Then we got in for the tackles, in for the skills, in for the long shots, in for the headers, in for the leadership, in for the weak foot, out of position, perfect link, and also in for the pace. So those are the 10 different categories. Each one has 5 choices to pick from. You have 1 vote and it can be changed. So I actually got a lot of questions actually on Twitter mainly, just asking me stuff about which players I should vote for and stuff. And I replied to some, but I think it is easier also for you guys to just tell you in a video which players I voted for. So I'm going through them really quickly. Don't want to make this video too long. And I'm also going to be giving you guys sort of a reason why I decided to vote for that certain player. So yeah, the first one is going to be the goalkeepers, which is Muslera, Leno, Sirigu, Handanovic, and also Lloris. I decided to go for Sirigu simply because I really like him in Ultimate Team. For the goalkeepers, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because none of them have like a huge amount of informs. I think Lloris has 1 inform and Handanovic 2. And that is pretty much it, I guess. So, yeah, for the goalkeepers, you are pretty much free to choose. I think right now, Lloris and Sirigu are actually sort of even. So, yeah, it's just a battle between those two players, I guess. Then we got the second one, which is in for the tackles, which is for the CDMs. We got Catermol from Sunderland. We got Luis Gustavo, De Rossi, Kedira, and also Yaya Toure. Now, Yaya Toure is actually leading, which to me anyway is not really a big surprise because he pretty much plays in the biggest league of the world. And he's also just amazing on the game. But I think it is kind of stupid that he's leading because his price right now in Ultimate Team, his second inform, or at least his inform, his first inform, because he also has a man of the match, goes for 250k to 360k on Xbox and 600k and 430k on PlayStation. Now imagine if he gets a pink card. He will most likely be, I think, 90 rated because I think that Daniel Sturridge, everyone got a +2 upgrade. I'm not really too sure if the upgrade goes on his latest inform, but I think it is because otherwise it would be kind of pointless to give him one. So, yeah, as I said, I think it is kind of pointless because it would sort of make his previous inform and also man of the match kind of useless in Ultimate Team because no one really wants to use them anymore. They just want to use his paint card, and that is it. And since his inform goes for that much, his paint card will be so expensive that he will most likely be extinct on the market. And no one is able to get him, which kind of sucks, especially since you are able to choose from different players as well. You can choose Catermol, which I don't think a lot of people vote for. You got Luis Gustavo, De Rossi, and Kedira. Now, I personally voted for Luis Gustavo simply because he's amazing in the game. He's very cheap already, so that means if he gets a pink version, he won't be as expensive as Yaya Toure's ones because he doesn't have an inform yet on FIFA, which I think is great. I think they should have done it that way. The kind of downside though is that it could mean that Luis Gustavo could be extinct because he doesn't really go for that much. I assume he would go for like 40k to 60k or something. I think somewhere between those price ranges because he most likely be 84 rated. But I think it would be a lot more fun to use him than, for example, a 4th version of Yaya Toure because we got his regular version, we got his man of the match, his inform. And then we also got a pink version, which I think is just kind of stupid. So if you haven't voted already, I would suggest to either vote on Gustavo, De Rossi, or on Kedira, because I think anyway it is kind of pointless to vote on Yaya Toure since he already had a man of the match and an inform. You're free to choose, but that is just my opinion. Then we got in for the skills, which is the section I'm of course most interested in. We got Sifchi, we got Shikawi, Tarept, Charisma, and Nani. Now, I already said this on Twitter. My vote went for Sifchi because he has an amazing link with Mackay Steven, who already has an inform. So it would be cool to use him in his squad with Mackay Steven as well. That is most likely not going to happen though, because Sifchi actually has the least amount of votes. He only has 3%, which is a big shame, at least for me anyway, because I would have loved to see a pink version of him. But yeah, the player that is actually leading is Charisma, then we got Shikawi, then we got Nani and Tarept. So again, I think it is just pointless on voting on Charisma or Shikawi, because they've had like multiple informs already. Shikawi has 2 informs, and Charisma has a man of the match and a inform. So it kind of is the same story I just told you about with Yaya Toure. It just makes those previous informs just useless in the game, since everyone wants to use the best version of a certain player. It of course makes those informs cheaper, but Shikawi's first inform already is like, I think 10k or 20k, and a second inform is like 30k or something, which is dirt cheap if you look at his stats. I think Charisma is more expensive though, but still, I think it is just better either to vote on Nani, Tarept or Sifchi, simply because they don't have an inform already in the game. Now the thing with Nani though is that he has a upgraded version. His normal card is a right mid, his upgraded version is a left wing, and he's actually on his way out, so he'll most likely get a transferred version as well, which means he will end up getting 3 versions in Ultimate Team. If he gets that pink version, he will have 4 versions in Ultimate Team, which is a lot in my opinion. So again, I'm not really too sure about Nani. There's also a small chance of him actually getting a Manchester United version. I know he's on his way out to Fenerbahce, but there's like a small chance of him actually getting a Manchester United version. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I think the same happened with Wagner last year, which was a silver right back who played for, I think, Corinthians, and he was on loan from Wolfsburg, but he actually moved to Vasco da Gama, but he still managed to get a Wolfsburg despite the fact that he already made a transfer to Vasco da Gama. So the same thing could happen for Nani. He could get a Manchester United version as well, on top of the transfer version to Fenerbahce if he actually goes to Fenerbahce. I'm not really too sure if it is already confirmed, but that could happen. So that means he will end up with having like 5 cards in Ultimate Team, which is just so much. 5 versions of one specific player is just way too many in my opinion. So if you want to vote on a player that doesn't really have like a different version, I would go with Tarept or Sifchi, but they most likely won't end up actually getting that pink card. So I would just vote on Nani if you want to know who I would like to vote for. I already voted on Sifchi, but he most likely won't be able to get one since he has 3%. Now I know Tarept also will get a different version since he moved to Benfica. Sifchi most likely will get one as well, since I think he's on his way out of Dundee United. I think he had some talks with Wigan and also with Celtic. I'm not really too sure about that, but yeah, Tarept will definitely get a Benfica card very soon, which is going to be pretty sick as well. But anyway, as I said, if you want to vote for a player, I would just vote for either Sifchi, Tarept or Nani. Then we move to the next category, which is in for the long shots. So I'm going to hurry up now. I'm just going to let you know which player I decided to vote for. This one I decided to vote for Hernanes, despite him actually having that inform already. He has 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. Garin also has an inform, I think, and Rooney as well. Let's see which player is actually leading right now. That is actually Rooney. So again, I think it is kind of pointless that Rooney is actually leading with actually 45%. But yeah, we're going to move on to in for the headers, which is a category I'm not really interested in. I think I voted for Cavani because he was the highest rated one, and he's actually leading as well, 45%. Then we got in for the leadership. I, of course, voted for Ronaldinho, 5-star skill moves, just a legend in the game. I think he's not really in the right category though, because in for the leadership, I wouldn't really put him in there, but still, I just decided to vote for him simply because he has 5-star skill moves, and he's actually leading as well with 38%. Then we move to the next one, which is in for the weak foot. We got Blanco, Totti, David Villa, Mkhitaryan, and Eriksen. I think I voted for Eriksen as well, and he's actually leading with 44%. Then out of position, which is Walker, Theo Walcott, David Luiz, Alaba, and Bale. I actually voted for David Luiz because I think it would be pretty sick to actually use him as a striker. And most people voted for Bale, which I can understand, even though he already has a striker version. That version he will get if he gets one. He most likely get it though, because he's leading 37% right now. Will just be incredible. Might be every single stat above 80. I'm not really too sure how his inform stats look, but he will be insane. Then we move to the second to last, which is the perfect link. Again, I decided to just vote for the 5-star skillers, which is McGeady and Coleman. But that's not going to happen because there's definitely going to be Marco Reus and Gundogan, which is an awesome pair to have as well. 69% of the votes, so they are definitely going to get that pink version. Then the final one, which is in for the pace. I personally voted for Doumbia because of the 4-star skill moves, and he looks amazing. And he's most likely going to get it as well. 52% of the votes he already has. So yeah, that is just my video about the Futties. Just giving you guys a bit of advice. If you haven't voted already, you can do so. Link will be in the description down below. Let me know your thoughts about this whole thing that EA is going to add in the game. Do you think it's cool? Are you looking forward to it? Or don't you really care? Let me know in the comments down below. Would be appreciated. Also, I do not hate on any of the players I decide not to vote for. It is just my personal preference. Of course, I like to use skill moves and stuff, so it is kind of obvious to choose, for example, McGeady and Ronaldinho and stuff. But if you're a big fan of Gerrard, definitely go with Gerrard because you of course love him. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to be the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure to leave a like. Would be very much appreciated. And if you get 3,000 likes, that would be absolutely awesome. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.